Hey guys, Wager Detective here. Just trying something new. Decided to go live. I reached the criteria with 50 plus subscribers, and here I am. Just, primarily I'll be talking about sports and things of that nature, and how the Major League Baseball season is going. Really excited for the progress I've made and the things that I'm doing to try to be a better sports capper. And I've learned a lot. My idol is Billy Walters. I've made mention of that many, many times, and here we are. We're just, going live and just making sure that I'm giving the best advice I can as a sports handicapper and someone that. What's going on, Nicholas? How are you, buddy? Trying something new here. Trying to up my game here. Wager Detective, coming to you live from New Jersey, and just trying this out, seeing what this is all about, live YouTube live. So just talking about sports, talking about baseball. You got any questions, drop them in the chat. Just betting strategies, what we're doing to try to get better as a sports capper daily. We got the NFL season coming up, and then primarily MLB taking the spotlight here in the middle of the summer, the dog days of summer. So and it's fun. Capping baseball is fun. There's a lot of strategies behind it to capping baseball. Travel, pitching, travel spots of where you're finding rest as far as a pitcher or player, and just trying to plug in all the right numbers to come up with an evaluation on how to cap and how to be successful at being a sports handicapper. So there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of chaos and variance in any major league game or season that can throw your cap off or throw your betting strategy to the side, because at the end of the day, the cap doesn't always play out the way that you think it might. You might have a great idea on who you like on a game and ran all the numbers, and then everything goes sideways compared to what you just capped. So it's a lot of frustration in there, and as long as you're staying with value plays and you're finding the best value, if you're following Wager Detective on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, you're finding that you'll find a lot of pertinent content to continually look at every day. Wager Detective is in the box scores every day looking at box scores, looking at pitching matchups, going through the play-by-play on some games that I'm going to cap for the next day, seeing what your batters are doing, who's getting hot, who's not, who's doing good, what pitchers are doing good against left-handed and right-handed batters. I mean, there's a lot that goes into capping just one game. So it's really difficult to go through a whole slate. I'm finding that the best way to do that is to cap in advance. Look for your cap in advance. So for tomorrow's slate, you want to be on top of that today. You want to see what's going on there. And when you do that, what you're going to find is, if you're staying in the box scores, you're seeing what pitchers are doing well, home and road. Pitchers, how they do on 5 days rest, how pitchers do against certain teams. You're going to find that your advantages are going to get better as you go. And what I'm finding as being a sports handicapper, or trying to be a professional sports handicapper, is there's a lot of different nuances that go into capping a game. And when you finally get into a rhythm of being able to evaluate a team and a player, whether it's baseball, football, hockey, or basketball, the more you're in tune with what's going on in the season, the better advantage you're going to have to being a successful long-term handicapper. And baseball is a long season, so you got to find the ebbs and flows of a season. If you find a trend where a team has won, like look at the Red Sox right now. The Red Sox are playing absolutely fantastic baseball, right? Okay, great. But there's going to come a time where they're going to hit a part of the season like they did before, where they're going to lose some games in a row. So you want to stay in tune with what a team is doing. Following trends is great, but you don't want to be late to the party, early to the funeral. And, with that being said, I don't usually follow a trend if it's past 5, 6, 7 games, because the value in that's already gone. That's already baked into the book's line. Wager Detective will talk to you about implied probability. What's implied probability? The implied probability is what the book expects the game to be. And then if that line's moving, you're going to get an understanding where sharp money is going and where people are headed on a particular game. So what's going on, Santana? Yes, sir, man. I will do that. Be sure to follow Wager. Anastasia, what's going on? How are you? Wager Detective here. I finally decided, I don't know, I was looking through I'm like, I post my videos on YouTube for the Wager Detective Report Daily, and I found live. Like, I knew live was there, and I was like, let me just give this a chance, and I'm just, finding a way to further get Wager Detective out there and continue to try to just be in line with, being the best sports capper I can. So getting back to what I was saying about the implied probability report that I post every day, make sure you're following Wager Detective on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Set alerts on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube to get the latest of what I'll do, because sometimes I might not post a Wager Detective report on the Major League Baseball slate. I might not do a game or two, but I'm always going to be most likely posting my leans for a day, because when I do the Wager Detective report, it's about a 15 to 20 minute video. Sometimes you might get up late on a Sunday. You might not be ready to, go through the grind of doing a report. So I'll look through where I find my advantages at. Usually, like any good sports capper, you're going to look for teams going against the sweep on a Sunday, and if they're a road dog, even better. If you got a team that's a road dog trying to avoid the sweep, that is an angle. That's just one angle of many when you're capping sports and you're seeing what's going on. So if you're following Wager Detective, you're going to get a better understanding of how I approach and cap games. And again, my idol, Billy Walters, is always going to be my idol. Just got done finishing his book, Life at Risk Gambler. Fascinating book. If you've never read it, get it. I might read it again, because, I think the thing that stood out to me is that guy went through the highs and lows of being a great sports handicapper, but how many times he went flat broke following his dream and then finally got it together. And as the story goes, I mean, worth over $100 million, has his own private jet, owned a lot of car dealerships. It's more than just gambling, right? You want to funnel your money. If you're a sports handicapper, you want to find ways to funnel your money into other investments, whether it's the stock market, whether it is investing in yourself, whatever it may be. You want to funnel money, the wins, into other avenues, and follow the rules of, I don't always follow the rules of bankroll management. They say 2 or 3% of whatever your bankroll is. I tend to find myself betting above and beyond that, and sometimes you find success with that, sometimes you don't. But I will tell you this: if you're following a regimen of being a sports handicapper, there's a lot that goes into it. And what my passion is just running the numbers, looking for advantages. Again, the implied probability report, that's going to be going up daily. If you're looking at that, then after the day slate is done, I usually do a diamond report. I'm trying to get into the habit of doing all these things in one day. The diamond report will go through the day slate of who was the diamonds of the day for each particular game. And then also with that, the implied probability report is basically saying, well, what are the advantages of you winning a particular game? So let's say if you have two teams at -108, the books are saying both those teams have a 52% chance of winning. If you're trying to find the implied probability for a game, let's say you have a favorite. You have a team that's -150. You're taking 150 divided by 100 plus 150. That team is a 60% chance to win. The other team's got to be a 44% chance because the book has a 4% hold. So when you do the implied probability, there's going to be 4% that's unaccounted for that goes over that 100%, and that basically is going to be what the book's hold is on a particular game, which is on average 4%. So, again, two teams at -108, that's 52% apiece. We know that, the book is saying, now if you find an advantage where you think that your team, that one of the teams that's -108 should be a -120 or a -115, you have an edge. The more the edge, taught by Billy Walters, the more that you're supposed to risk. You're supposed to, and I'm going to get into the habit of doing that as well. Everything has to be structured on what you're doing. And when you do that, you're going to find that you can be a relatively good sports handicapper at trying to leverage money and along with your time and your stats to find an edge. And if you do that, you will be successful. Don't chase bets. I've learned that the hard way. I've gotten so much better in not chasing bets over the years. When you do that, when you have a game plan. In years past, surprisingly enough, when sports gambling came to light in New Jersey and it was illegal for the very first time, I found more success in not even capping games, because sometimes you could cap a game and talk yourself out of what you originally thought. I usually was finding myself on the winning note. Then over time it became, well, let me do a little bit of work into this. And I found as I did the work and you get more into it, you have a better advantage. So now I can't even bet a game unless I have an understanding of that game. I just can't do it. I have to look at the numbers. I have to see where the edge is. That's the way to do it. Don't chase bets. Look at the implied probability. Find an edge in a game, in a particular game, and then once you do that, you work your way along, and then you continually get better at what you're doing. So for Wager Detective, baseball is the main thing right now. We've got a lot of stuff going on in baseball. Who's hot, who's not. You got the Brewers. You got a team that, off the radar Brewers. You got a team like the Astros that are starting to heat up, getting hot. Look at the Red Sox. Red Sox on a run right now. This is just all off memory because I'm well entrenched in Major League Baseball at this time. So you're seeing who's doing good, the ebbs and flows. Phillies are kind of hitting a weak spot. By the way, I like the Yankees today at plus money against Sanchez. This will be Sanchez's first start after the All-Star break, where he started that game in Philly. Now he's back home. He didn't win the All-Star game, right? They lost that game. I think the Yankees are playing hot. Yankees more of a road team. They play better on the road than they do at Yankee Stadium, surprisingly enough. You got the Diamondbacks that are heating up. That should be a team to always keep an eye on. You're looking for teams in baseball that are going to get hot, and then teams that have played good all season. Now, even though I know the Brewers have been playing great baseball all year, I'm still questioning the age of their starters. That Mizrachi, great pitcher, but young. You got Ashby, another great pitcher, but fairly untested in the playoffs. You look at that lineup, very good, but they don't have a lot of power bats. You look at Milwaukee Brewers, not really a team for power, but I do like Churio, I do like Turang, I do like Yelich, finally back in that lineup. Vaughn, they got some guys over there that can make them considerable there to do something in the playoffs. You want to keep eye on teams that nobody sees coming, like the White Sox. If you would have started in the beginning of the year, and I posted this, if you don't watch Jimmy the Bag Show, the Daily Bag and the Nightly Bag, I posted in that chat on his show a couple times that I liked the White Sox to get over 65.5 wins. They're very much well on the way there. You could have got a great number on them. I think minus 110 to get over that number. And they're well on their way to doing that. Good pitching. They got Burke over there. He didn't look too good yesterday, but they got Kay, Burke. You got Martin. And you got a lot of beasts in those lineups. You got Murakami back. You got Meredith is a consistent name in that lineup. So if you're looking at that team and you're trying to find a way to see who's doing what in baseball, stay in the box scores every day. Just go through. It's really not that hard. If you want to be successful at anything, you got to be consistent at everything, and that means staying in the box scores every day, seeing who's doing what, how do pitchers perform on the road compared to home, how do they do historically against that team. When I break down a game, I'll give you a secret right here. This is my go-to on every game that I bet. For both teams, I'm looking at how each team has played against each other the last 9 games, head-to-head. Then I'll look at how each team has done against the other team in home and away splits. I'll look at how, if it's a day-night game, how do you play in road night games and day-night games? How do you play and vice versa for the other team? How are you performing in night and day at home and away? Also, how you're performing against that particular division. Is it an in-division game? I'm looking at how both teams play against in-division opponents. And then particularly on the road or at home in the division, those splits. Then I'm looking at how you've performed last 9 games. I'm looking at last 9 games. I'm factoring that in. So then it'll get to pitching. How does this pitcher done in his last 5 games? How does he do on 4, 5, 6 days rest? How does he do when he pitches against this particular team? And I'll do that for the team they're playing, all those metrics. So usually for a Major League Baseball game, I'll have a model of 5 different aspects I'm looking at for both teams. And I'll meld that together. I'll get my calculator involved. I'll find out what the averages look like. And I find that I'm finding great success with that. And that goes for really any sport, right? How do they play at this stadium? Is this a home run hitting stadium, or is it a pitcher friendly park? All those things come into play when you're looking at how to cap a baseball game. And you'll usually find, like I said, that the more work you put in, obviously, the better you're going to get. Don't be afraid to fail, because failing is part of a way to get better in anything that you're doing or anything you want to be successful at. So there we have it. My first day live, probably go to about 17 minutes here, 18 minutes, and then I'll plan out as I go forward my times when I'll go live. I'll post when I'm going to go live on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. That's where you can find Wager Detective. Every day something will be posted on 1, 2, all those platforms or not. And thank you for the one viewer or the few viewers that stopped in. Thank you for the thumbs up. And I'm going to get better at this as I go. And I appreciate all my fans out there, present and future. I love you guys. And be on the lookout for the next time Wager Detective is going to go live. I love all my fans out there. Nicholas, I love you, buddy. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Thank you for always posting my posts on Twitter. Thank you for liking my videos on YouTube. It just takes a little bit of a spark to kind of create something even bigger. And this is my first step going live. I didn't know how I would do, but surprisingly enough, I feel like I couldn't stop talking for like 18 plus straight minutes, and I don't even have a script in front of me. So next time and going forward, I'll be more prepared. And like I said, Wager Detective loves all his fans, and I'll talk to you soon.